I think a lot of the attendees who might be Ertugrul friends might enjoy this specifically because Maydaan Archery is actually the first archery club in Australia to teach the Asiatic Ottoman style of archery. So we're very, very honored to have Brother Ahmed with us at MECA Collective with this very, very interesting and different entrepreneurial story. So thank you for joining
me. And it's also very refreshing to see what you guys are doing. I think you are filling a gap in the community that is most needed, and may Allah reward you for it.
Tell us, what is Maydaan Archery? If you could tell somebody who has never known anything about archery or you or Maydaan, tell them what is it?
Okay, so Maydaan Archery Club is a place that everybody can come together in. So Maydaan means field. We come together in this field and we're all equal in this field, all right? And we come to practice their archery. The sort of archery we endeavor to practice in that club is a more Eastern style of archery. And we're not saying Eastern in a way that we're trying to compete with the West. It's just a little bit different in our approach, where we do archery more as a martial art and less as just a mechanical movement. It's an archery club that's focusing on archery, on ground archery, but it has grown into more than just archery club. The community has grown exponentially. And we've also involved horses, and now it's horseback archery, not the real how it should be. And then after that, now we're imbuing it with concepts of tasawwuf and futuwa, which involves all the sunnah disciplines. So we wanted to do this initially, but we focused on one thing and did it right, rather than doing all the sunnah arts and disciplines. We focused on one and got it right.
That's already a great piece of advice, focusing on one thing, trying to perfect it and doing it really with excellence. What was the thing that really, inspired you to create Maydaan Archery? How did it come about?
I used to live on a farm, and because I'm an avid hunter and I enjoy art, I used to do compound archery before I got to know about Ottoman archery for about 10 years. And I read a book and everything changed. But it started on my farm because a lot of the people who were interested in archery, they would come and say, hey, can you teach me? Or they'd see me practice with my nephews and my son or something. They'd say, oh, I'd be keen on that. I'd like to give it a try. So one thing leads to another, and they ended up buying a compound bow. Farm got taken, and we lost our place where we could, hang and relax and shoot. They built a road through my house.
Oh, no.
And, didn't have a farm now. Where do we shoot? Because I was never really into clubs because I had this property. The same people that were joining me, we all got together, and coincidentally, that taking of the property allowed me to some space to go to Turkey and study a little bit about this and travel and explore. And it was all very it suits Sister Dalal. It was very it was very organic. And you know what? Organic is a very Islamic concept, because when things happen for you easily, they say, if you want to see if you are on the right path, sometimes people doubt. Am I doing the right thing? Am I not? Allah opens the doors for you with ease. Then this is a sign for you to keep going. Meaning you are struggling, but somehow your struggle is even easier than your struggle. So we looked at clubs that traditional clubs. You're talking about Archery Australia clubs, 3D archery clubs. We started shooting there. We enjoyed it. It's not that we didn't, but we didn't feel the community, because a lot of the other traditional archery clubs, they involve all the gentlemen. They love to drink. They like to do this. This is how they like to pass their time and clink a few arrows. For us, it was more about the community, a safe environment for, first of all, kids. We were done fixing broken men. We are not interested in the problems. We want to build new generation. So we wanted something safe for our kids, and also a club that's completely inclusive to all. Muslims, non-Muslims, male, female. Generally And so we basically approached the Bosnian community and said, because I'm Bosniak myself, we approached the Bosnian community. They were like, wow, great, we don't have enough activities. Come and do it at our soccer field, which was abandoned. And we started there again, and it grew organically, but we couldn't cope. We saw a massive gap in the community because the way that we taught archery, it was focusing on the archer as his character and not just shooting the bullseye.
That's right.
It was focusing on concepts of tasawwuf, concepts of spirituality. And we find in today's community, Islamic community, we find people teach fiqh and aqidah very well. They all know aqidah, they all know fiqh, but they don't talk about the heart.
Initially, when you started, how many people were there? So you started the club, and when was this?
We started in this place, and it was maybe 10 people. We began very small and just grew. It was initially word of mouth. I'm not a very social media person. As we grew, the good people surrounded us, and they helped out. So we were very lucky to meet a few brothers and sisters who were good with website building, Facebook promotion, and they helped out, and we grew like that. I realized when I was in hospital one day, I couldn't open the club. I called someone and I said, "Can you open the gates? I'm stuck. I can't move." And they were like, "Okay." I realized, it's not something that we want. It's the concept isn't worldly gain. Go back to the heart. We're saying we want to have a club that's going to focus on fixing hearts. It's a physical manifestation of the spiritual. So a lot of it is around sadaqah jariyah. It's a different kind of business.
Yeah. So how have you been funding Maydaan Archery? So could you tell us how many people are part of the club, and how many people do you have usually engaging?
With regards to funding, initially it takes a lot of money. And you have to, like I said, it's sadaqah jariyah, and some people they're interested in this. They want to give money fi sabilillah. Okay, so initially we funded it, but alhamdulillah, over time we became more independent, and we relied on government grants, on memberships, on other kind people who were able to help us. Alhamdulillah, but we're very healthy in terms of funds, and that is again because of the good people that are running the club, like our treasurer and a few other people who are from sales backgrounds. They made sure when I wanted to do things for free, they're like, no, don't do that, because a target costs $800 and we need 10 targets. It's not going to be cheap, so you need to think about this. And I wasn't thinking that at all. So we were very heavily funded from our members, our core members, and also from the greater community. On top of that, because we were non-for-profit, we were eligible to apply for a couple of grants. That helped us a lot to start. Our initial plan on a page has been completed. Now our next plan for 2 years is underway, and that plan involves a little bit more commercial acumen, and that commercial acumen would be in a format where how can I free myself up more to dedicate myself to the community better, and not necessarily how to monetize it. So it's more around how can I free myself up to run things better, because we cannot cope. We're booked until May. So I don't know what to do. My main problem initially was having enough teachers. We need to somehow open this up to our community, because our mission is to revive archery culture, or to revive the Sunnah discipline, Sunnah art in our community. So our aim is not really, it's basically greater than what we are.
Inshallah, that's very good. And I think that's a value that obviously all Muslims should have when they're engaging in business, and inculcate that within themselves. So I think that's very honorable, and that's a great insight from you. I've got a couple more questions. First is, what is a key lesson that you've learned throughout this whole journey, throughout the 3 years, and trying to move forward?
I was anti-management. I didn't like managing people, and I didn't like delegating. I just liked doing myself. And I think the core to our success are people, and looking after core people. Your people you got to look after. So I would say the most important thing, your most important asset are your people, your members, the people who come, who make an effort. Never ignore the guy who comes, even if if he's coming collecting rubbish. Don't ignore him, because Allah sent him there. So give everyone their due. And it helped me. The lesson I learned, I think, as well, is to sometimes put hands off, and less is more. We used to run free sessions. Few of people told me, they said, Ahmed, why don't you charge? And I said, I'm not doing it. They said, people today value time, and time equals money. And unless you put money on something, they don't value it. We put some money on it, and people started appreciating it more. So those things, I think that those kind of help me learn along the way. But you're always learning all the time.
Yeah, that's very true, especially in the non-for-profit area, with a lot of events that people hold. You can see that if you price it, people start attending. So that's definitely a great insight for a lot of the attendees for today.
And the right people attending.
Just to wrap it up, in one sentence, what was the best piece of advice that you've been given in terms of your business and Maydaan Archery?
There's several.
Yeah, give me the best one.
Make your intention for the sake of Allah.
Thank you so much for taking your time, and we would love to have you back on at another stage, inshallah, in the future. But it's great to see this social venture happening in the community, and thank you so much for volunteering your time. So
very happy to be part of this. Thank you for inviting me.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.